Might be a little bit complicated for you guys, but you have to remember that there are so many good things about the society that we're living in. Okay, we have the freedom of religion. We can practice our religion without any harm of persecution. Okay, we have freedom of speech, that we can basically say what we like within the law, and basically we have so many other rights which we have because of the Constitution, and one of those rights is the right to vote. And as you get older, you may be put into this dilemma of whether we should be voting or not. Okay? And as Muslims, we have to do those things that are going to be beneficial for the Muslim society. There's a principle in Islamic Sharia that says that that thing that is obligatory and it is a means to fulfilling something obligatory, then the means also becomes obligatory. Alright? You want to do something which is obligatory. For example, you want to pray Jummah. What do you need to pray Jummah with? People, wudu, what else? Khutbah. Masjid. You need a masjid. Okay. Okay, you need an imam. Yeah, okay. All of these things, basically, these are components of the Jummah, right? So, if you want to fulfill the obligation of Jummah, then all of these rest of the things also become obligatory. Okay, the Jummah becomes obligatory. Having an imam becomes obligatory. Alright? And having wudu becomes obligatory. Okay, and all of the rest of the things that we've just mentioned, these things, because you're trying to do something obligatory, and these are the means to fulfilling that thing which is obligatory, then all of these means also become obligatory. Okay, but my main focus was for a masjid. Okay, for Jummah you need a masjid, so to fulfill the obligation of Jummah, now it becomes obligatory on you to also build a masjid, or actually rent a masjid, or whatever you're going to do, so that you can fulfill the obligation. Alright? So similarly, there are many things that as Muslims that we are supposed to have within society, as Muslims that we're supposed to protect. Alright? We're supposed to protect our identity. We're supposed to protect our deen. We're supposed to protect our values. And in many cases, the only way to do that is to elect leaders that can help us in fulfilling those objectives. Alright? So it's obligatory, for example, in the case of, in Irving, we don't have alcohol being sold, right? And it's obligatory for us to prevent that from happening. The only way to prevent it from happening is what?
Voting.
Voting, right? Okay, so it's obligatory to prevent alcohol in society. So voting also becomes obligatory because that is the means of preventing that from our society. Alright? So, and all of the other things that we've just mentioned, that by voting in leaders that will be helpful for us, that will be helpful for Muslims, that then becomes obligatory because they will help us to fulfill the objectives that we are trying to achieve as Muslims within the society. Say for example, one candidate, okay, he is allowing the opening of charter schools. Okay? We need charter schools because we as Muslims can bring in teachers that are Muslims, and we can have all students that are Muslims, okay, within of course the rules and regulations that the government lays down for us. One candidate that he might be helpful in getting us to achieve that. Okay, one candidate might be helpful in getting our schools accredited. One candidate might be helpful in helping us expand the masjid, for example. Okay, so all of these things as Muslims we need to focus on to understand that if we want to get these things achieved, we have to be participating in politics, we have to be participating within the political system, and sometimes there is no way around it. Okay? So as you're growing up, you will find that you will be given this choice whether you are to vote or not to vote. You should look at the candidates, you should look at the issues that they're standing for, and those issues which are near and dear to the Muslims and are helpful to the Muslims, you have to stand for them, and you have to vote for that person who stands for them also. Okay? Any questions?